Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. How are we doing today? Welcome to another episode of Barefoot Conversations with Magdalene. How are you? How has your week been? How is everything going with you? Who is Magdalene? Magdalene is an entrepreneur with two businesses. So the first one is Music Relief Foundation, which I founded from my own personal experience, or work with young people using music as source of therapy to unleash their creative spirit in order for them to build confidence and self-esteem. The second one is seeing Magdalene as a coach, especially for women who are struggling to find their purpose in life, helping them to identify, to connect or reconnect in order for them to live a purpose-filled life. That could be in whatever ways that they need that support. What am I talking about today? Today's topic is, it's almost somewhat in line with what we've been speaking about, what I've been talking about in recent times, in to do with violence of various sorts. And today, just unfortunately, just Saturday, right here in London, there was another terrorist attack. And I don't know, I don't want to use the word tyrannic or any of those kind of words, but on Sunday, there was the fundraising concert that was taking place to raise funds for the families of those who unfortunately lost their lives in Manchester 2 weeks ago during the Ariana Grande concert. And so you can just imagine that UK, we're trying to get over the what happened in Westminster a couple of months ago, and then just recent times 2 weeks ago in Manchester, and then right here in London, the capital in the center of London, in London Bridge, there was another attack. And the questions that are coming out is, what's going on? Is this an agenda? Is this a propaganda? What's going on? It's who is all behind all of this? Is it hoax? Is it real? So many things, so many people are asking questions, but then people are losing their lives. Whatever questions we're asking, the bottom line is that people are losing their lives. People who went out on Saturday night for a night out, for whatever purpose, many of them are never coming back home again. In the news yesterday, we're hearing that various people, I think there's a Canadian that had lost her life. So obviously the Canadian country are coming across it. Yes, they've lost one of their person. I think another one was an Australian person as well. And so many other people that have lost their lives, regardless of whatever country they come from. The human life is still a human life. And so that's what led me to talk about what we're going to be talking about today. And so the topic of today is terror attack. Is it a basic human right, or is it a cry for help? Is it a basic human right, or is it a cry for help? Some people may say, oh, what do you mean is it a cry for help? I don't know. I don't know. I'm asking the question, is it a basic human right, or is it a cry for help? And so some of the questions I'm going to be asking on today's show, I'm just going for my iPad to just make sure I get the right questions, is what is terror attack? Why has it become so rampant in recent times? Does human life have no worth again? What more can we do to stop more of these attacks? What else can we do? What else can we do to stop it? How many more lives must die before this ends? How many more lives? What else can we do to stop it? So that's what we're going to be talking about. And before I go any further, I'd like to get the definition out there so that way I get my audience and we flow together. So as usual, I've got the definition of terror attack. What is terror attack? So I just had to go there and get the definition. Terror attack is a surprise attack involving the deliberate use of violence against civilians in the hope of attaining political or religious aims. A surprise attack involving the deliberate use of violence against civilians in the hope of attaining political or religious aims. Just before I went on air, I was watching a video that somebody posted, and this was a guy who was just, he was really speaking from his mind, because from the tone of his voice, there was anger. There was a lot of anger. There was a lot of anger from the tone of his voice, and he was really speaking out from his mouth, from his mind. And some of the things he said, I fully agree with them. I'm not going to say everything on air, but some of the things he said, I fully agree with it, because the bottom line was, because enough is enough. Enough is enough. We can't continue like this. We can't keep losing lives. So it's a case that you go out, you don't even know if you're going to come back. I remember the Westminster attack. And this particular couple who came from America, I think they were on their honeymoon or just touring around in the UK. And the sad thing about it is that husband and wife came together, But going back now, wife is going back, but she's no longer sitting next to her husband. No, she's carrying the body of her dead husband back to America to bury it. You can imagine what's going through that woman's mind. What is this? When is it enough? Is it a human right? And so when I was thinking about all of this, I had to get the definition of what human right is, because I don't just want to come on air and just speak of my mind, because I could do that, but I want to make sure I'm really hitting the point that I want to portray in this broadcast. Human rights are the basic rights and freedoms that belong to every person in the world, from birth until death. They apply regardless of where you are from, what you believe, or how you choose to live your life. They can never be taken away, although they can sometimes be restricted. For example, if a person breaks the law or in the interest of national security. Okay, going into human rights now, looking at the terrorists now, is it with all this terrorism that's taking place, is taking place under the name of Islam. So are we to say now that the Muslim religion, all they do is terrorism? It's not right. That's not what I am saying, basically. I'm not saying that. But this is coming under the name of Islam and wanting to is it to marry the virgins that Allah promises them, or what? I don't understand. But then you look at the whole Muslim faith, not all of them are like that. So where are these radical ones getting their information from? Where are they getting this radicalization from? That they feel that they need to get rid of lives in order for them. And the thing is, it's not just about killing lives. They don't mind sacrificing their own lives in the guise of going to paradise and being with these virgins. So before I go any further, I want to ask, if that was me, I'm just putting it out there. Someone promises me that, oh, I'm going to get, so if I'm a man now, I'm going to get virgins, but I need to kill myself and in the process kill other people in order for me to become this martyr and get these virgins. The first question I'm going to ask is, why can't I get these virgins right here on earth? Why do I need to kill myself and kill other people in order for me to get these virgins? I don't know. I don't know if it's just me saying it, just putting it out there, but I don't understand. Radicalization for that they feel the need that they need to bring about sheer terror in people's lives and take people's lives in order for them to qualify to get these virgins. What's so special about these virgins in paradise that you can't get them right here on earth? I'm asking a question. Don't quote me on this. I'm just asking a question. So we look at the human rights. Okay, you have your religion. That's fine. It's your religion. Must you come and impose your religion on somebody else? I'm a Christian. I can tell you what I believe, but I can't impose my beliefs on you. And definitely I can't do it in a forceful manner. Neither can I do it in a manner that will take lives and take my life as well. I can't do that. That's not what Christianity is about. So what are they portraying in a sense of Islam, in a sense of the Muslim faith? It gets to a point that we say we can't. I was listening to news on Sunday morning, hearing about, obviously, from the terror attack on Saturday night in London Bridge. Eyewitnesses, the journalists, everybody was saying that the police response was so fast. But my question is, why is it that we talk about it afterwards? Why can't we prevent such error from happening? Is it that there's no police intelligence anymore? So these guys want to inflict pain and terror into the society. Is it their human right? Is it a cry for help? Is something missing? Is there something else that we need to be doing? Once we've identified that these people have radical views. So is it something that we need to look even further and say, okay, there's a cry for help that we need to support them in order for us to take them away from them? Or is it just for us to catch them and lock them or deport them back to their countries? Have we resolved the matter? So you take one group away and send them out of the country. What about the other groups that are coming up? What happens to them? We must understand that there's so many things, issues there. Like I said, I was listening to a post and the guy I said so many things I can't speak on air because these are his views. And like I said, the tone of his voice, he is very angry, which is very understandable. But some of the things I don't agree with, in a sense of just deporting these people. You find that, yes, they have this faith and these beliefs or whatever, just deport them. You deport them. What about the other ones who are coming up? What else can we do? We need to be able to tackle it. When we're looking at, we're talking about gang involvement and juvenile delinquencies amongst young people. When we look at the bottom line, there is a cry for help somewhere. Something needs to be done. So can we not then apply the same principles with these people? Once we've identified that this person or this group of individuals have radical views, what are we doing? Is it just about locking them up? Is it just about deporting them? What are we doing so that we steer away the younger ones who are coming? Because the sad thing about it, we have more young people who are jumping upon this bandwagon of radicalization. In the name of what? I don't understand. This holy war that they are fighting, what is it in the name of? What justification is it that the human life no longer has any form of worth or value? Because the way they said it, that the guys ran their van into a group of people and came out and started stabbing people. Come on. We're human beings. We're thinking, breathing, living people. They have families. Loved ones are going to miss them. Families are being ripped apart. Is there no more conscience? Is there no more hearts? What is going on with us? So is it a human right? You have your beliefs. This is your beliefs. Your belief system, your book, your holy book or whatever, your teachings. So then the other Muslims who are not radical. So my question now, I really want to know, because I'm not a Muslim, I want to know, is that the same, are they reading from the same book, the Quran, that tells them that they need to kill people in order for them to get these virgins? Is that the bottom line? Is that the goal at the end? That when you do this, you get the virgins, the price now that they're causing, inflicting all this pain and sorrow and havoc everywhere in order for them to get these virgins. Is that it? I just want to know, is that it? Or is there more to it? I really want to understand, because we are tired of seeing this carnage. For goodness sake, look at it. It's too much. It's too much. We need to stop this. We can't continue. I cannot say because, oh, my friend is a Muslim, I'm no longer going to relate with him or her. Because it's not fair to generalize all this in. But unfortunately, you're going to have a right wing of people who are going to be coming up saying they're fed up of this, and they begin to take their anger on other innocent Muslims who don't share the same beliefs. So we need to know what is going on. So is it a basic human right? So we need to hear more from the Muslims who do not have this radical views to say, you know what, we don't agree with what all these people are doing. Unfortunately, they're coming under the same umbrella as the Islam faith. But they can see there's a difference. There's a massive difference with those who are peaceful, loving Muslims and those who are radical. So I want to know why they've gone through this radicalization now. That's where I'm coming about with that's the angle I'm coming about. Is it the human right? Do they feel it's their human right to inflict pain? Because I've given us a definition of human right. So do they feel is their human right to inflict pain on us? The basic rights and freedom that belongs to every person in the world. So we all have rights and freedom. So those people that died, just this recent attack, those people that died on Saturday now, did they not have a right to go out, have fun, and then go back home to their loved ones? Some may have children at home, some have wives, some have husbands at home. Do they not have a right to go back home? Who gives anybody a right to become Lord and Master and take somebody else's life? And you don't just you take it away in such a painful and evil way. Oh, wow. And then I began to look at other things as well. I was asking myself this question. I said, can bullying be regarded as terrorist acts as well? That was a question that was just coming into my head. And then I began to research, as I normally do. And this is what I found. It said there's not much difference between bullies and terrorists. Terrorists attempt to kill as many people as quickly and as possibly as publicly as possible. Sorry, let me read that again. Terrorists attempt to kill as many people as quickly and as publicly as possible. Bullies kill their victims slowly, one by one. It said the end result is the same. Businesses wrecked, livelihoods destroyed, lives lost, families ripped apart. So we hear about the terrorist attacks that are taking place in the UK and in different parts of the world. We hear about it, it has become so rampant. We hear about it so frequently, it has become almost part of life, which it should not be. Our children that are born into this world, risk daily, should not be seen, they should not be living in fear. There's so many issues that we're having to deal with without having to add this on top as well. So we hear about this terrorist attack that is taking most of it. When you switch on the news, that's the majority of the information that's coming from the news before they add over any other thing that's taking place. Then, but we don't hear much about the bullying. We hear about it in schools, we hear about it in the workplaces, but we're not hearing much about it in the news. But then with this, what I've just read now, is that they're the same. So terrorists, the idea is to kill as many people as publicly as possible. Bullies do it slowly, one at a time. But the bottom line is still the same. Businesses are wrecked, families are torn apart, lives are destroyed. Why is it? What is it? How is this a human right for anybody to inflict such pain? I want to understand this thing because I'm tired of it, I'm fed up with it. I was talking about gang involvement a couple of weeks ago, and it just seems that that's the same trend of my barefoot conversations in these recent weeks. And that was not what I set out barefoot conversations to be, but it just seems that that's the road I'm going down. It's not a good road. It's not a road that I fancy. It's not a road that I want to continue to talk about. It's good to talk about things that are good, to empower and encourage us. But unfortunately, when we see such things taking place, that you open the newspaper and you read the news, you listen to the news on the telly, or whichever medium you take to listen to the news, what you find, it's almost like 80% of the time, it's about all these attacks taking place, either in the UK or in different parts of the world, before you hear any other information. When does this stop? So going back to my initial points, I've talked about the basic human rights. We all have our rights to exercise our beliefs and be free to do what we choose to do. But I don't have to impose my belief system. I do not have to impose what I want to do on somebody else. Because I believe this is what I believe. This is my belief system. What gives me the right to impose it on somebody else? Why should somebody else have to believe what I believe? I can share with you my beliefs, but you don't. If you have a choice, if you decide to believe me, okay. If you choose not to believe me, again, it's okay. That's how it should be. I should not then have to be inflicting terror on you because you did not believe me, or you don't choose to follow what I tell you to say. That is not right. That is bullying. That's the bottom line. That is bullying. You're bullying people. You are bullying people to follow after your way. So when they come and cause all these terror attacks, what then are they expecting? That the country that they're inflicting all this pain on turns around and say, oh, okay, sorry, we surrender to you. Is that that's the bottom line, and that's what they expected. That we surrender to you and they will begin to follow after your beliefs, your religion, your faith. And no, it does not work that way. We can't do this, especially in the UK. In the UK, we have become so welcoming to all these different faiths. But then from some of the points I picked up from that guy in that post, it's almost becoming like because we've opened up and we've accepted all these different faiths and creeds and ethnicity and different variations of things. It's almost like we're being punished. So when I open up my arms and embrace you with a genuine heart, what wrong have I done by doing that? When I open up my arms and embrace you with a genuine, what have I done wrong? Basically, what I've done is said, come, I accept you. Let's live in peace together. Let's love one another. That's what I've done by opening my arms to embrace you. So why then should my good acts be punished, be rewarded with an evil act. Because you have these people, I call them cowards. You are cowards. If you can't bring your point across in a platform that every other person has the opportunity to come across in that same platform and bring their points across in a peaceable manner, then you are a coward. That's my bottom. That's what Magdalene is saying. You are a coward because of the fact that you don't do that. We must, and I reiterate that again. I say that again. We must learn to live with peace with each other. I may not flow with what you believe, but that doesn't mean I'll turn you to my enemy. It doesn't mean that you have to turn me to your enemy. We just have to have an understanding and know how we live with each other. I said, why has it become so rampant? Definition of rampant. Sorry, I'm not trying to be so what does she think that we don't know what this means, but I just wanted to break it down so that we kind of flow with what I'm saying and really understand what is going on. Rampant means especially of something unwelcome, flourishing or spreading unchecked. So it could be uncontrolled, unrestrained, unchecked, unbridled, widespread, pandemic, epidemic, pervasive. So what are we going to call terrorist attacks now? Is it something that we should now become, is it something that should become a daily part of life? Because when you look at these images, it doesn't seem real. I remember all those years ago, when 9/11 took place, I remember sitting down, I was at home, I just had my son, so I was at home, and I was watching the telly, and I was like, what is this? It looked like one of those Die Hard film, Bruce Willis films. Not look real. It did not look real because it's not something that it used to. So I was just amazed by looking at the screen. I was like, whoa, what is this? But now you can't say what is this because it's something that happens, unfortunately, ever so often now. In the UK, we're still trying to get over what happened in Manchester. Hence the reason Ariana Grande came back with some other people to have that fundraising concert on Sunday evening. So we're still trying to get over that and just kind of recover. The families are still grieving. So emotions, everything is still so high. And then you have this. You have this. What is it a political agenda? I'm just throwing it out there because I don't understand. This is too much. I'm talking about something that happened all those years ago. How many years ago now? 2001. How many years is that? My math is not really good enough. So over 10, let's put it as that, over 10 years ago. This is something that happened at time, and I'm sat there thinking, wow, is this a film? Is this real? And then you have this that is happening ever so often that you don't sit down and say, is this real anymore? People are just coming out and proclaiming in the name of Allah. So what do you think it's incurring in the minds of people? It's bringing up hatred in the minds of people who are non-Muslims, because it's almost as if we're having to look at our Muslim counterparts and like, okay, and we shouldn't do that. We should not do that. We should be able to live with each other in peace and harmony. We shouldn't do that, because I'm scared that unfortunately it may get to a point that innocent children, innocent babies who are from Muslim backgrounds may become victims in schools. How do you justify that then? When I talked about bullying and terrorism, it's from this definition I've got here, it's almost the same. It says, let me continue. It says, the dreadful events of Tuesday, 11 September 2001 gave rise to inspirational acts of courage and heroism, followed by calls of restraints by those who had lost loved ones. Such human acts distinguish good people from the evil of those who promote terror. And you see, the sad thing about it is that many of these people who are causing these terrorist acts, many of them were not even born in 2001. They weren't born in 2001, But since then, they've been born and grow up. And so I'm thinking, where are you learning this from? We hear of many of them who went to schools here, went to university. But somehow something happened and they changed. So is it for the authorities now to begin to raid all the mosques, to begin to find out what is being preached in the mosques? And then is it then going to be called as invasion of privacy? What is it? Are we coming down like what I said before? The topic is it? Are we infringing on human rights? Are we hindering people from practicing the faith in which they believe? I'm speaking to each and every one of us, and I'm speaking to the government out there. What can we do? What can we do? It's not good having the intelligence and talking about intelligence after the act has taken place. You have the intelligence before the act has taken place. What are they doing? Money cannot, you know what, there's certain things that we can consider in a sense of cutting, but when it comes to the policing and the intelligence of terrorism and those who they believe are terrorists, there's no amount of money that should be restricted. There should be an unlimited resources out there to tackle this unfortunately growing problem within the society. So it's no longer just identified in one particular region. It's no longer identified in one particular country. It's now widespread. It's everywhere. So people almost feel like, where can I go to? Where am I safe? Just yesterday again, I saw another video that is going viral, is going everywhere. About police. They stopped the bus and they took a young man out of the bus. They handcuffed him, and so there was loads of them, armed police officers. And they were searching for his bag. So I was just really watching and like, what is in that boy's bag? And they open up the bag and you see, I don't know what to call them. Are they machetes? Are they swords? Are they samurai? So I don't know but this is on a public bus. This is scary. We are children on the buses. They go to school on the buses. We as adults on the buses, on the trains. What is happening? Are you safe? Are you more safe in those? They're definitely winning in some point in the sense of generating that fear. But why can't we live? And why should I be afraid to step out, to go out? If I said I wanted to go out for a night, why should I be thinking twice? Should I go out? Will I come back home? Will I not come back home? It shouldn't be that way. If you want to go out, you go out and have fun and come back home. Oh my God. I could talk for England in this case. I really could talk for England. But the matter is, it's not just about talking. We're tired of talking. That's the bottom line. We are tired of talking. The governments, those in authority, the officials, those who have the power to do something. What is happening? We need to know. We are tired of hearing that the police had intelligence after the atrocity has taken place. We are tired of hearing that. We want to hear that the police had the intelligence and they acted upon it and it hindered such atrocities from happening. So that these families who are mourning the loss of their loved ones will not have to be doing that. Death is so painful. I can identify with death. Death is almost something that is so real that I don't know how to explain it. And this is me feeling death from the loss of my own mother. But she died as a result of sickness. But then you can imagine somebody feeling death and losing their loved one. Just come back to Manchester. They talked about the youngest victim being 8 years old. You give birth to a child and then you bury that own child. What would the parent be thinking? Come on, how do you console those people? How? Because of what? An evil act. And that person doesn't just kill the people. He kills himself as well. In the name of getting those virgins. Is that it? Is not. I just want to understand, is that the end goal, to get those virgins? Is that it? Is that all? Is that all to life? By getting those virgins? Is that the be all and end all of life? By getting virgins in paradise? Is that it? Or is there more? I would love to be educated, because I'm not trying to say I know it all. I don't know it all. So I would like to know what justifies people from inflicting such cowardly acts on other people. I'm just looking at my time. It's now 11:30. I need to stop here. But we need to put more pressure on its election in a couple of days' time. We need to put more pressure on our government officials and say, you know what, it's not about talking the talk anymore. It's about walking the walk. We are fed up. Our loved ones, our families, people in the society are dying. It's enough. Enough is enough. Something must be done. No longer should we hear that intelligence were with the officials, but they did nothing. We only hear about this after the act has taken place. We are fed up of this outward act of bullying. This is bullying to another level. We are fed up with it. If you're talking about human rights, we as the innocent civilians also have human rights. We have a right to live and to enjoy our lives the way we choose to enjoy our lives. We have a right to believe in what we want to believe in. It's enough. We are fed up with it. We are fed up of it. I can't impose my belief system on you. You can't impose your belief system on me. We just have to learn how to walk and live with each other. That's the bottom line. Whew, Magdalene, calm down. Until next time, guys, you have a great and safe day. I'll see you next week, God willing. Bye for now.